And we're back. Welcome back, guys, to another part two of this series of talking about me, how to got chainsaws. But my grandpa passed away finally, and I start figuring out ways to be a farmer also, and thinking other ways to fix this chainsaw up. And my grandpa used to be a logger back in the day. My uncle says it was not his chainsaw, but I'm most positive I thought it was his chainsaw. I mean, it just looked like it. It felt like it. It acted like it. It was. And I should never throw it away, but I did. I was dumb enough to throw it away, and I should never done that. So this Poulin, and I eventually found out what it really was. I'll tell you at the end of this video. And it starts at the beginning of this. I've been wanting I want my grandpa's Case 430, and never got it, but it's probably still his farm still. Been wanting that tractor for a while, and I always ask my uncle, "Is it okay if I have it?" And he just doesn't reply anything, and there goes that story. But you know, saw my grandpa passed away the first time. I mean, it didn't feel very good, but and I really didn't get to know him that well. He used to be a logger. A tree fell on top of his legs, broke both of his arteries in his legs, and he was walking with a cane, not a cane, but one of those things that you pick up and you lift up and it rolls on wheels. I forgot what they call those, but he was on those for a while, a very good while. He used to be a coal miner too, and he did a lot of things in his time. He was also a farmer too, to keep his farm alive. But I eventually found this yellow old chainsaw that was in there, and I had to have it. I wanted to get it to run, and I've seen all the parts that was missing on it. Couldn't find the parts for it, and I was like, you know what? I mean, this thing was sitting on the edge where this hole is on the floor, because the floor actually had a big ass hole, and this thing was sitting on the edge of it. Even all the bars that came with this saw, they came with 34-inch bars. And I'm most positive they were actually Poulin bars too. I think I actually have one around this building somewhere. I don't know where I did with it. I might throw all those bars away because they're all froze up. But I could have freed them up. Could have kept them, but I don't think I did. So I brought it to the house, and I left it underneath the house for a little while. And the floor was going to cave in there. I mean, that place was about to cave in. There was like weed whackers in there, a few other weed whackers in there. I couldn't make out what they were. I think one was another Husqvarna. But I believe it was my grandpa's chainsaw. But I wish I never threw it away, because I'll tell you exactly the reason why. I even got a picture of this, what it looks like. This is the chainsaw I had. This chainsaw right here. This is from, I think, a couple years back, way back, when I got this. And I posted up on a YouTube video what this chainsaw looked like. And this is how I got the chainsaw. If it wasn't for this thing I found. You know what this was? Soon I brought it up to my new place, and we moved out of my home in Philippi. They eventually, the coal mines bought the property, and I took the saw with me. And I started following the Pioneer. I still had the Pioneer time being when I had this saw also. Just a little bit ago. But when we started to get ready to move, that's when I kind of decided to throw the 32R away, and I wasted a very, very rare weed whacker. That thing was bringing up to like thousands to thousands of dollars in 2020. That's when prices were going completely skyrocketed on chainsaws. And I wish I never throw this chainsaw away, because this saw brought up to almost to $14,000. They made a lot of these chainsaws, but only a few in this model here was ever made. They only made over about 1,000 of these saws ever recorded of these 555, 655 Pros. Poulin Pro. I threw it away because the parts were super expensive for them. And then you had to throw all kinds of fucking Pioneer parts on just to get this thing to fire up. I almost had this thing to run that day, but this thing was locked up, seized up. And I freed it up when my dad bought its Dodge. Can't tell what kind of Dodge it was. But my dad had his Dodge one time, and I was still living in Philly, and my old place, not the place I moved out of and moved here, no, but my old place is where I was from, and I had this saw sitting there for a while, and I brought it to my dad's garage. My dad used to have a garage, a big ass garage, like it's a super old place, and I eventually found it again, and I worked on it again, and I found out that the dang thing was seized up and was locked up first time. And I found the chain. As you can see, I stuck the chain on it. I stuck the bar back on it. It was missing the clutch cover. You can see everything was missing except for the carburetor. The carburetor was all the only thing was on it. It had a spark plug, but the spark plug was completely rusted, so I had to take it off and replace the spark plug on it. I think you guys could see this. I think you can see, guys. I don't know if you guys can see, but this thing actually had spark. I still got its coil. I still got the coil off of this thing when I took it off. I even still got the carburetor off of it. I don't know what I did with the gas cap. I've been looking for the gas cap so I could throw it on the Homeland zip, and I couldn't find it. I found the wool cap. I think it's in here somewhere. Somewhere in here. But let's get back to the top of the story. But I eventually got the free up, put some PB Blaster in it, and it fixed it right up. And Kroll oil. Kroll, or King oil or something. Kroll oil. I took the Kroll oil, freed it up, and boom, it freed right back up. And that's the day it actually had spark. So I took a drill to it around the flywheel, and it had fucking spark to it, and it lit me up like a fucking light, like I said. So I touched the damn plug by accident, because I didn't have nothing to hold it. As you can see, it's missing the handle off of it. I was going to make a handle off it. I was going to make a full wraparound bar, because this thing was supposed to have a full wraparound bar, as you can tell. That's the reason it's got the other side, mounted on the other side, and it's got the other side that goes on the other side. I'll tell you exactly what this chainsaw was. I'll tell you exactly what it is. So it has similar features of a... When I moved away from Philly, I need to tell you that, guys, first, is when I moved away from my old home, Philly, I moved up to Terriado. And, not Terriado, but I moved to a place, and a new place, and I brought the saw up there. I worked on it again. It was free. It was still freed up when we moved to the other place, the place that we came out of. But when my dad brought his stuff up, I eventually got the Pioneer that I always wanted. I threw the saw away, and I was starting to try to figure out what it was, because this is how the start was. The first start was when I first picked up the saw, I brought it home. I started looking at what kind of chainsaw this is, and that's how I popped up McCulloch 250s, and I started getting into McCulloch 250s, and I got into Pioneer P65s. That's how I got into these saws. Then you guys can see now I got 13 chainsaws now. I just need one more to complete my collection. This video is about to end again. Crazy. Well, entirely, I threw it away afterwards. After I started looking at everything what it was, I just told myself, I promised my grandpa, I'm going to get me a new chainsaw. I'm going to get me a Pioneer P28. And I did. I found a Pioneer and brought it home. And so you guys seen that Pioneer P28 first start up the first time on that video. You guys got to flip back to the old videos to find my Pioneer video. That thing was covered in dirt, dust. I cleaned it up. It looks amazing now. Let's go get an airbox cover. Excuse me. And I threw it away, but I didn't throw it away yet. But when I flipped it underneath of it, I was thinking of something. It's like, oh, is this a Pioneer P65? And when I flipped it back upside down, there was a model tag right there. I searched it up. Boom. You know what it popped up? A 655 Pro, Poulan Pro. And I threw it away. And that saw would bring about $14,000. Ain't that crazy? I gotta make a part 3 of this video so you guys can tell you the rest of the story, so we can hurry up and end this video off so you guys won't see my face anymore. So I'll be making a part 3 here in a minute. Thank you guys for watching.